Okay, we'll ask you again to tell us your name and where you were born and when.
Just now?
Yeah, right now.
My name is Castilda Poirier. And my age, 85 years old. I was born in the Scots in 1908.
And what was your mother's name? Your mother, what was her name?
My mother, her name was Mary Poirier. My father's name was John MacDonald. My grandparents, my grandmother was Julia LeBlanc, and my grandfather was Elias Poirier from Poirierville. My grandmother was from Ayrshire.
Which LeBlancs are you related to in Ayrshire?
Pardon?
Which family of LeBlancs are you related to in Ayrshire?
I was related to Dr. Amédée LeBlanc. And, you know, it's hard. They all passed away. And it's hard to remember them all. There's the Martells.
Which Martells?
Well, that's it. I don't remember. I knew there were Martells, you know, that was... But I don't know their husband's name. I know one was a McKinnon, Captain McKinnon from Ayrshire. There's quite a few relatives in Ayrshire, but I just don't remember their names. Because they all died quite a few years ago.
And which Poiriers are you related to? Which families of Poiriers?
I tell you, I'm related to almost all the Poiriers in Poirierville. They were a large family.
Did your father have any brothers or nephews?
No, my father was the only boy. He had a sister.
Now, you said your father was from Lochside.
My father was from Lochside. My grandfather was from Scotland. And they were deported from Scotland. Like I tell you, the Pertusses were the same. See, they were deported from Scotland and they settled. That's where they settled. My grandfather settled in Lochside. But my grandmother, really, I don't remember her family name at all. I don't know where she was from.
You say the Pertusses were from Scotland?
Yeah, the Pertusses. Now, I can't tell you if they were really from Scotland, but wherever they were living, they were deported too.
But you don't remember your grandfather, though? You don't remember?
Oh, no, I don't. My grandfather died before I was born. My father was only about 13 years old when my grandfather died.
And where at in Lochside did they live? Do you know where it was?
Well, I tell you, now there's no one living in that road at all. You'd branch off on the Grandig Road. Then there was quite a few houses there. But after that, I don't know what happened. The old people died, and it was never kept up.
Do you remember the name of the road? Did the road have a name?
No, it didn't have no name. No.
And what was your grandfather doing there? Was he farming? Did he have a farm?
Well, I can't tell you what he did because, as I say, my father was only 13 years old, and but they had a large piece of land.
What did your father do after his father died? Did
Well,
he
my
leave?
father went to the States. He had his mother to keep up and a sister. He had a sister, which then they were still living in Lochside. So my father went to the States. And he became an American citizen in 1905. So he took care of, vessels, you know. He went captain of vessels, which was sailing from the States, and some would come even to Canada, to Cancel, you know, when they'd fish, when they'd catch some fish in Canada, then they were allowed to, you know, to fish in Canada.
So your father went to the States when he was 13, and he became... Did he start working on vessels as soon as he went to the States?
Mm-hmm. He sailed in vessels, and he took, of course, being an American citizen, he could be a captain of a vessel, huh?
So how long did it take him to become captain?
Well, you know, those days it didn't take very long, see? Some of them, they were all Canadians, you know, and they weren't allowed to be the captain of a vessel or a ship. So then in a few years after that, the Canadian people weren't allowed to go to the States.
But he was allowed to go
Oh,
because
yeah.
he was an American citizen.
Well, I have a sister and a brother in the States. But I didn't go to the States before I was 21. And I married a Canadian, so I lost my Americanship.
So how did your father meet your mother if he was sailing in the United States?
Yeah, but in the winter time, see, he'd come home to take care of his mother and sister. So that's where he met my mother.
So tell me about your grandparents on your mother's side. What was your grandfather Poirier? What was he doing?
My grandfather Poirier, well, he had a vessel fishing in Canada. It sailed.
Do you remember the vessel?
I remember my grandfather and my grandmother, yeah.
Do you remember?
That's where I was born,
At their
up
house?
the hill there.
Is the house still standing?
The house is there, yes, the house is there. There's people living into that house.
Who's living there now?
Pardon?
Who's living there now?
It's a Savory family, a young family. Her husband died not too long ago.
Do you remember your grandfather's vessel?
No, I don't. I don't. I was too young then.
So where were you brought up?
Well, I tell you, we lived up the hill. Oh, I imagine. I remember. You know where Doris LeBlanc lives, huh? Well, the little house on this side. Do you know Teddy Poirier?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where he lives. That was our house. When we left up the hill, that's my father had bought that house.
Who was in that house before you guys? Who did he buy it from?
He was a Boudreau. His name was Simon Boudreau, which maybe was related to you people. I don't know.
So your grandfather's house up the hill, did he build that house?
No, now I can't tell you if he did or not. I don't remember. I was too young. See, it's too bad that the old people didn't keep a record, you know, like a family tree. Then, well,
They didn't believe in that though, did they?
maybe not.
Your father, was he brought up in French or in English?
English. In fact, I think that my grandmother could speak French. Now, as I say, I don't remember what nationality she was.
Your grandfather on your father's side, could he speak the Scottish language?
Was he what?
Could he speak the Scottish language, the Gaelic?
No.
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 So how long did your father continue to go to the United States?
How long?
Yeah, did he do that for all of his life?
Oh, yeah. See, at them times, they'd leave in the spring, early spring, and they'd come back in late fall. They'd be in the schools for the winter.
So did he make a good living?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. We were three of us, you know.
Did you have any brothers and sisters?
I have one brother and one sister in the States.
Both.
One is in Montauk. My brother is in Montauk, and my sister is in Cape Cod. They're both married.
Tell me about your husband's family. Do you know anything of his family? What was his name?
Oh, yeah. My husband was born not too far from where I lived. You know where the home is?
Mm-hmm.
You know, right across the home?
Yeah.
Well, that's where my husband lived.
That was his house? His
Pardon?
That was his father's house?
That was his father's house.
What was your husband's name?
Nicholas Poirier.
And his father, what was his name?
Pardon?
What was his father's name?
Well, at first, his father was a teacher. And then, well, he came back, he went out west teaching. Then when he came back, of course, the boys were grown up, so they started farming.
On that piece of land?
Pardon?
On that piece of land that house is on?
Yeah.
That was their farm?
Yes.
And what was your husband's father's name? His father's name, your husband.
Jeffrey Poirier.
Was there a relation between
Yes, there was, but not close. As I say, all the Poiriers were related to us.
So how did you meet your husband?
Well, he was in the schools, huh? He was farming then, and I was living, as I told you where I was living. So I didn't have to meet him. In fact, we were all brought up together.
And whose house was this? Did you guys buy this house, or was it?
No, that was left to Nicholas by his grandmother. His grandfather had died before his grandmother. Then it was left to Nicholas.
And who was his grandmother?
His grandmother, she was married twice. His grandmother was a LeBlanc. Then she married a Culleton, and then she remarried a LeBlanc.
And this was, do you know any of the history of this house? Was this house always here?
Yes.
That you can remember?
Yeah.
And how long have you been here?
Over 50 years.
And what did your husband do for a living?
Farming.
He was a farmer. Where did he farm?
Pardon?
Where was his farm?
Right here, we had a little farm, not a big farm, you know, but the farm was large enough that we could make a living.
Was he fishing as well?
No,
No fishing.
no.
Did you have a farm when you were growing up?
No.
I just want to ask one more question about Lochside. Do you remember there being if there were many houses down that road where your grandparents lived?
From where?
Down in Lochside, where your grandparents were from, where your father was from. Was
Yeah.
there many houses down there besides there?
Well, there was a few, but they were all older people. Now, I can tell you, I don't know their names, you know. But they were all, when we started, we were big enough to visit my grandmother. We'd go there in the winter time. We'd walk to Lochside. But they were down. There was no more dwellings in that road when we went. And we had to walk quite a distance to get to that house. So
what was the schools like when you were growing up?
pardon?
What was the schools like when you were growing up here? How is it different then than it is now?
Oh, I don't know.
You mentioned are there many of the old houses gone?
Where, here?
Yeah. Or buildings?
Oh my gosh, yes. There's quite a few. See, of course, the road here was around, going into Irishot was around Doris LeBlanc going up, see? And this, well, that part of this road was our field here. See, and of course, that's where the barns were. Kept cattle, well, that's where they were kept, on the other side of the road. See, it was all fenced in for pasture.
Mm-hmm. So all that is gone. Did you have a big barn here?
Oh, not too big, you know. As I say, we kept about 12 cows.
When you were growing up, were there any fish companies that operated in the schools? Anybody who bought fish?
No.
No.
No,
There's
no.
nothing like that.
No.
Was there any? Was there freight and mail coming in by boat?
No, I don't remember of any.
Were there any wharves along the waterfront here, in the schools?
No, not where the wharf is now, but a little further up the shore. Well, there's still a few houses there, like Arthur Terrier's house, and then there's the Ranston's house. That's down the shore, further up, past the wharf. And of course now, well, it's all different. It's where they have their boat.
Were there any wharves there? There's only one wharf in the schools now, right? The government wharf. Was there more wharves when you were growing up in the schools?
No, no,
It was just the one?
no, it's about the same.
Just the one. Who kept the stores in the schools? Who had stores here?
What?
Who had the stores here in the schools?
Who had them?
Yeah, who kept stores?
Well, there was Arthur Lebrun had a store where they have the restaurant now. And then further up, a little further, there was a Fougere, Paul Fougere. Well, the house is still there, but he had, this Paul Fougere had a store. But otherwise, it's about the same up there.
Where was Paul Fougere's store at? Is the building still standing that he had his store in?
Paul Poirier.
Yeah.
Well, he had a store. He passed away years and years ago. He had a store almost next to that restaurant there.
So there were two stores almost next to each other? Were those the only two?
Yeah. Wait now, let me see. I think so. I don't remember of any of Pullamong. Of course, there's stores up there now, but I don't remember of any. You know, in those times, Pullamong, the people from Pullamong kept together. The people from the schools kept together. The people from Poirier-Aug kept together. So you didn't know too much of either.
When you say kept together, was there?
Yeah.
You didn't associate with people from Pullamong?
Pardon?
You didn't associate.
No. No. No.
Why was that? Why do you think that was?
Pardon?
Why do you think it was like that?
Where do I think?
No, why? Why do you think it was like that?
What do you mean?
Why do you think that people from each community?
I don't know. I don't know. They had their school. We had our school. Poirier-Aug had their school. And I believe that's the reason, see? The young people didn't meddle because they each had their own. But after that, it
Who had the biggest store in the schools?
Arthur LeBrun.
What kinds of things did he sell in the store?
Pardon?
What kinds of things did he sell in the store?
Well, he'd sell clothing, he'd sell groceries. He had a good store.
Was that store always there?
Yes, as far as I remember.
What happened to it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. The first thing, he moved in Arishat at the store there. And that was sold. I think it was sold to Joe LeBlanc from West Arishat.
Was there a post office in the schools?
Stop what?
A post office.
Oh, the post office. Well, the post office, I tell you, at that time, that I can remember was down the shore. It was quite a post office. That was my uncle, which was, his wife was my mother's sister. And then, well, my uncle took sick, and they built a piece at the house. And they kept, my aunt kept the post office there.
Did you ever work in the post office?
No.
How many times a day was the mail delivered? Did
Pardon?
you get mail every day?
Yeah, oh yes.
And how did the mail come to the schools?
The mail came to the schools with a horse and wagon at those times. And I tell you, for a while, my husband and his father drove the mail from Loosedale to West Arishat, and from West Arishat to the schools for a number of years.
Did people have mailboxes at that time?
Yes.
You could get your own mailbox?
Mm-hmm.
Where was the school at?
Well, the school was divided like in two parts. One was next to the church, and one was down the shore.
Was it a separate building?
Hmm?
There was two
Yes.
separate buildings? Were they big buildings or small buildings?
Oh,
Were they bigger? Were they
yes, yes.
big? They were big buildings?
Mm. And then, well, they decided to build the school where the hall is, you know. Then they all went from grade 1 to 11 went to that school, or primary grade till 11 went to that school.
Where did you go for grade 12?
Grade 12 in Ayrshire.
And when it was split up like that before, where were the lower grades and where were the higher grades? They were in two different buildings, but where?
Yeah, well, they had all in the one building, see?
Before that, though, when they were in two different buildings,
Yes.
which grades were by the shore?
I never went down there.
You never went.
It must have been before I started school. When I started school next to the church. Of course, that building was burnt. Now it's a different building, you know. But when they built the school where the hall is now, of course, we all moved in there.
And the building that was next to the church, what happened to that? Did it burn?
It burned.
In the fire that burned the church?
Now, I think when the church burned, that house burned down too. I'm pretty sure.
And what happened to the building that was down by the shore? What happened to that school?
Well, of course, then they could all go into the one school. So I tell you, my husband and his brother were raising chickens, so they bought that to make a chicken house out of it. And then from then on, my husband got that chicken house in the yard here down below with a boat. He towed the house to the shore here, from the shore over there to the shore here. They wouldn't do it now.
Were there any nuns in the schools?
Yes.
Where were they living at?
Well, what?
Where did they stay?
My husband?
No, I said, were there any nuns? Were there any sisters in the schools? Religious?
Oh, I don't remember.
Who was teaching at the school? Was it local
Well,
people?
my father and Nicholas's father taught in the school next to the church, and his sister taught there. But after they moved in the school where the hall is now, there's different teachers, you know, that taught there.
Was there a parish hall? Was there a hall for the schools?
Yeah,
Where was that at?
down below here.
Was that a big hall?
Well, big enough. Well, it's that red building down there, down the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I think that was part of it torn down. But it was big enough.
Was that hall always in operation as far as you can remember?
Yeah.
What sorts of things did they have in the hall?
Dances, card plays.
Did they have bingo?
No, there was no bingo then.
No bingo?
Oh, yeah, they had bingo after the younger people took over. They had bingo. But at those times, there was no bingo. But they held dances, of course.
When did they hold the dances? Was it on a Saturday night?
Yeah,
And
they
how-
held dances to help to buy furniture for the school. And then after that, well, they'd use the schoolhouse to have dances there.
How often would they have dances?
Well, in the winter time, they'd had, quite a few, you know. But I don't remember of having any in the summer. Well, all the young people would be away.
And how would the dances work? Who was doing the music for the dances? Was it local people?
Yeah, it was local, yes. The trustees of the school.
So they would provide the music?
Well, they'd get some from Petit de Gras to provide the music.
And all the money went to keep the school going?
Well, they'd have to keep up the school, you know. Sometimes it would be pretty hard.
Did the people have to pay a tax to keep up
Oh,
the school?
yeah, sure. All taxes.
Did you go to school much?
Yes.
How many grades did you finish?
11.
Did you enjoy going to school?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, 11 was in Arishat.
Did you find were the teachers strict?
Oh, would they ever, with them days they used the strap.
So what would they do? Would they strap you on the hands
Yeah.
or on the behind?
Mm.
On the hands?
On the hand.
Did they have any other punishments that they...
No, I don't think, I don't remember.
Did they use the strap often?
Well, when you were bad. But after that, they weren't allowed to use the strap. Of course, when I left school, they were still using the strap, but after that, they weren't allowed.
And what happened at home if you got in trouble at school?
It would be just too bad. you'd be put out. Of course, there was none of the girls put out, but there was lots of boys put out. I remember once a cousin of mine, his sister was teaching. So I don't know if something he done in school, and she said, you get in the clothes room. Of course, in the clothes room, there was no window or nothing. He was in the darkness. And then he started to do like a pig, you know. When a pig squeals, I don't know if you ever heard a pig squeal. So then the sister said to him, she put him out, and she said, you go home and tell my father why I put you out to school. And because she said, I'll be home at dinner time, and if you're not there, I'll tell my father, and it will be worse for you. So I get he got quite a talking to.
What kind of school was it? Was it nice on the inside?
Well, it was all wood.
Was it warm in the winter?
Pardon?
Was the building kept warm in the winter?
Oh, no. The floors were all wood. There was no covering on the floors.
Were all the grades taught together?
Yes, quite a few of them.
Tell me about the church, the old church in the schools. Was it nicer than the church that's there now?
Oh, that was a beautiful church. It was a big church, like 2 stories, you know. It was beautiful.
What was nice about it? What made the church nice?
Well, it was nicely built, you know, inside. The carving and everything was beautiful. Statues were nice. The altars were nice.
What was the religion like at that time?
Pardon?
Was the religion stricter than it is now?
I don't remember.
Did you have to fast at any times during the year?
Pardon?
Did you have to fast?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when you had to fast?
During Lent.
What were the rules?
Well, then you'd have to fast before going to communion. And of course, during Lent, you had to fast. After 21.
What were the rules for fasting? How much were you allowed to eat?
Do you know that I don't remember? I think it was about 8 ounces, and then 4 ounces for supper.
Were you allowed to eat meat during Lent?
Oh, yeah.
Was there any other days of the year that you had to fast?
Well, during Lent, that's all. As far as I remember.
And on Friday?
Oh, well, Friday, yes, sure, Friday. You still have to fast. You're supposed to fast on Friday.
Were you allowed to eat meat?
No. No.
Were you allowed to have parties or anything on Friday?
No. Not during Lent.
Not during Lent.
But of course, I don't remember. I don't think there was many parties on Friday.
Were there any feast days that were celebrated then that aren't celebrated now?
Yeah.
What would those have been? Do you remember which ones?
No, I don't remember.
And on Sunday, what were you allowed to do?
Not too much.
Could you knit?
There was Mass in the morning, and there was prayers in the afternoon. So what else could you do? Sometimes there was horse races on the harbour.
When you say prayers in the afternoon, do you mean prayers at the church?
Yeah.
What would they do? Was it a rosary or was
Yeah,
it?
rosary, yes, and singing, you know. It was all different than now.
Were you allowed to sew or knit or anything on Sunday?
No, no.
Tell me about the priests. Who was a priest here?
Well,
do you remember?
as far as I remember, the first priest was Father Boucher. In fact, he's the first priest that married my mother and father, Father Boucher. Well, at first, Father Boucher was kind of strict. But after that, he wasn't so bad. He was a good priest.
What would he do if somebody stepped out of line?
What?
If people were doing something they weren't supposed to be doing,
That's right.
what would he tell them?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you'd get up in front and get up on Sundays, and that's where you'd get it.
In front of everybody.
In front of everybody. He didn't care.
Would people listen to him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The people weren't bad then. They'd listen to the priests. I think they'd listen to the priests better than what they do now, of course. Priests aren't strict now like they were then.
What kinds of things would they? What kinds of things would they tell people not to do? Would they stop people from doing?
Well, when there was too much drinking, then they'd get it on Sunday. See? And if they'd go any place where they weren't supposed to go, then you'd get it on Sunday.
What places were you not allowed to go?
Well, places where they'd sell liquor and they'd carry on, and he'd get a hold of it, then he'd tell them. But, you know, they weren't bad, they'd listen.
Was there much religion in the home? Did you have prayers and so on to say in the house?
Oh, yeah.
When? When did you say your prayers during the day?
I just don't remember what at that time.
Did you say a rosary?
Oh, yeah.
Every day?
Yeah.
During Lent or the whole year? The year round?
Well, not all the year round, you know, but of course, as far as that goes, I don't remember too much.
Were you taught your catechism at home, or did the priest teach it?
You what?
Your catechism. Were you taught at home?
Oh, yeah.
Who taught? Your parents?
Yeah.
Were there any people when you were growing up in the schools who owned their own vessels?
Quite a few.
Do you remember the names? Do you remember who they were?
No, not too much.
Do you remember any at all?
Well, the ones I remember are all gone now.
What were their names?
Edith, McDonald, and Stella McDonald, and quite a few more. But they're all
I say vessels.
pardon?
I say vessel. Were there any old ships captains here in the schools? Sea captains.
Any what?
Sea captains.
Oh, yeah. There was Nicholas's grandfather and Nicholas's uncle.
What were their names?
Nicholas's grandfather was Frederick Poirier, and his uncle was Fred Poirier. And then there was Leonie Poirier, and then there was Leonard Pertus.
Where did his uncle and his grandfather live? Are the houses still here? Are the
Grandfather?
Houses, yeah, are the
No,
houses
up the hill.
Is the house still standing?
Yeah, the house is still occupied.
Who lives there?
Well, it was remodeled, and it's the owner of the house died, but his wife is there. She was formerly from not from Quebec, but from New Brunswick, Caracat, New Brunswick.
Do you remember their vessels? Do you remember those ships?
No.
Were they sailing out of the schools?
Oh, yeah.
What were they sailing for? Were they fishing?
Yeah.
They were fishing
yeah.
vessels.
Huh? My father stayed a few years in the place here, he had bought a vessel, was out fishing.
Did he do well fishing?
Not too bad, but he'd rather go back to the States.
Where did he go to fish, do you know?
No, I don't remember.
Do you remember your father's vessel?
Yes.
Was it big?
Yeah?
How many masts?
2.
How many men did he have working for him?
3 or 4.
Local people?
Yeah?
Are there any family names that were in the schools that are not here now? Any families that left?
Well, not too many. You know, there's some old houses that went down and the people left that I didn't know.
You told me that when you were growing up, the road through the schools wasn't paved. What kind of a road was it? Was it good? Was
it was a gravel road.
it just one lane?
Yes, sir. Hold on.
Was it hard? Was it hard to get around? Was it hard to use the roads in those times?
Well, at times, yes, when there was a lot of snow, there was no plows or nothing. The men had to shovel with a shovel.
And was it hard to get through in the spring of the year?
Oh, yeah. Floods, you know.
Was the road narrower than it is now?
Yes. Oh, it wasn't as wide as what it is now. After the pave went through, of course, they widened the roads.
Was it wide enough to pass 2 cars?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. There wasn't too many cars then, you know. But in the winter time, going up the hill, this was only shoveled wide enough for a horse and sleigh.
Who had cars? Who owned cars?
Of opening the road?
No. Who owned cars here in the schools? Did anybody have a car?
Not in the schools, I don't remember. There was one in Pullamong.
Who owned that one?
Louis Bertus. Did you ask that question to Frankie?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he would have told you. But in the schools, I don't remember there was any. Because I know when the priest would go for a sick person, they'd go for him with a horse and sleigh.
And how did you operate before the electricity came? When did the electricity come?
You know, I can't remember. I can't remember the date. But we had lamps, of course. Oil lamps.
Did they work well?
Oh, yeah. And then, well, they had those gas lamps, you know.
How did they work?
Oh, I don't really remember. It was something like an oil lamp. You know, it would work about the same.
And what did you do for heating?
Heating.
Yeah. How did you heat the house?
Well, well, we had wooden stoves, wooden coal stoves. Oh, as far as heating was concerned, we were never cold.
Did you cut the wood or did you buy it?
Oh no, my husband cut the wood. Of course, we had a horse, so they'd haul the wood out. And then in the winter time, well, there was a saw, you know, sawmill, and they'd with this saw, they'd go from house to house sawing the wood, and they'd help. All the men would come and help, and then in turn, Nicholas would go and help whoever helped him.
So he had a sawmill that he'd take from house to house?
Yes.
And what about coal? How did you get your coal?
Well, I tell you, the ones that had vessels, they would go to Sydney, and they'd come with a load of coal.
So you get your coal right at the wharf here?
Yeah. Then they'd land that.
Who was bringing coal into the schools?
Well, there was this Fred Poirier, and what you call them, Frederick Poirier used to, I know, everyone that had vessels, in the fall they'd go for a load of coal.
Did you have a garden here?
A what?
A garden.
Oh, yeah. We all had gardens. Everyone had gardens.
Do you have a big one?
Big enough.
Did you take care of the garden or was that your husband's work?
Oh, I'd help.
Was it hard work?
Hard enough. I'm telling you, I often say, the people now don't work like the people did in our days.
What did you have to do to take care of the garden? What types of things?
Well, you'd have to weed, you have to plant, and then we kept cows. And Nicholas haymaking time couldn't attend to everything. So I had to take care of the milk and then go up with the cows almost a mile from here, the pasture. I often say to my daughter, she often says I'm busy working. I said, I don't pity you. I said, you don't work half as hard as what I did. I said, what hard work is it sitting down in an office all day?
So when you were doing the garden, did you do that all by hand?
Well, we'd weed the garden. No, by hand, sure, you had to.
Would you cultivate it? Did you have a cultivator?
Yeah, with the what? You take the, what you call the, you had the hand hoe, and you cultivate it with that.
What about making hay? Did your husband make hay by hand? Or did he have the machine?
He made hay with the mowing machine. He cut the hay with the mowing machine, and then there was a lot of handwork too.
What had to be done after it was cut?
Well, they had to rake it up, put it up in stacks. Then the following morning they had to spread that hay. Then when it would be dry enough, they'd have to roll it up and
You said you had 12 cows?
10. Sometimes we had 10, sometimes we had 12.
What were you doing with the milk and the cream?
Well, I tell you, with the milk, we'd ship the milk to Sydney. And then in the summertime, with the surplus, we'd make chocolate milk.
And where would you sell that?
And put that, they had a co-op store for a while here. So we put it in there.
And were you selling any beef, any meat?
We'd keep enough for ourselves, you know. If Nicholas would butcher a cow, well, we'd keep half, see? Then you could always sell the other half.
So you always had enough for yourself.
Mm.
So your main income was the money from the milk? And how did you get the milk to Sydney? Did somebody come here?
Well, they take it from here with a truck to Grand Anse, and from Grand Anse, well, I think someone else would take it with a truck.
Do you know where it went in Sydney?
That I can't tell you. I never inquired.
So how did you store your meat and vegetables for the winter with no electricity?
Well, I tell you, I didn't take... Nicholas, of course, the potatoes wasn't hard to keep for the winter, but the carrots, I know he put that up with sand, you know. Of course, there was no heat in the basement at that time, so we put everything down the basement and it would keep.
And what about the meat? How did you keep the meat?
Well, the beef, in the winter time, we'd keep that. We'd always have a spare shed, you know. We'd keep that in there. It would keep for a few months. Cut it up. Then when it would thaw up with a little, there was always snow, so they'd fix it up with snow.
They tell me that the old people were good at predicting the weather. Is that true?
Yeah.
Do you know what kinds of things they look for to predict the weather?
Yeah.
Can you describe some of the things they looked for?
Oh, yeah.
Were they looking at the clouds to predict the weather?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, you had to.
Do you know which kind of cloud means what kind of weather? And the moon, they tell me the old people followed the moon a lot.
Oh, they would follow the moon. That's right. That's right.
Well, what kinds of things could you do in what kind of moon? Like if you wanted to cut wood, what kind of moon?
Well, yes, I don't remember. I think it was the full moon to cut wood. I know they'd watch for the moon to cut wood or to cut logs.
To plant? Would you go by the moon to plant?
Yeah.
What kind of moon did you need to plant?
Oh, I don't. I know, I never looked.
Did you ever use any home remedies?
And what?
Any home remedies?
No.
Always use the doctor. Do you remember any of the home remedies that they did use, the old people?
No, I don't remember.
Do you remember there being any gypsies coming through the schools?
What? Any what?
Gypsies?
Yes, I remember. The gypsies. I remember one time, well, my father was away, and we had a cow then, and the cow had to be put in the pasture way back in the woods. And that night there was a load of gypsies that had come and settled right close to where we had to walk to put the cow in the pasture. And my mother said my brother was supposed to put the cow in the pasture. And he was frightened. So she said the cow has to be put in the pasture. So I went. And boys, were they eyeing me when they seen that cow. So I did put her in the pasture, but coming back, I didn't pass by them. I went through the woods.
Do you know where they came from?
I don't know.
What did they look like?
I wasn't close and I didn't look at them close enough to see what they looked like.
Did they have wagons and horses?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Did anybody have any contact with them?
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Were there Indians that came through the schools?
Pardon?
Indians. Did the Indians?
Oh, yeah, the Indians. There was all kinds of Indians, but you wouldn't mind them.
Did they ever camp here?
No, I don't know. They'd come from St. Peter's, I think.
Do you remember the flu epidemic during the First World War?
Oh, yeah.
Was that bad here in the schools?
Oh, yeah.
Were there many people who got it?
Quite a few.
Did many people die of it?
Not too many, not too many.
Did it strike at your house?
No.
Do you remember the Halifax explosion, 1917?
I heard of it, but I don't remember too much.
You don't remember what happened here?
No.
Do you remember when the bridge was open?
No, I don't remember that.
Do you remember the earthquake of 1929?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What happened then?
I don't remember what happened then.
Do you remember the Depression?
The what?
The Depression.
Oh yeah, I remember that, some of it.
Was it bad here?
Bad enough. Bad enough. Many people were on relief,
Here in the schools?
quite a few.
Was anybody starving?
Well, nobody starved, I don't think.
Were there people who were going without fuel and food and stuff?
Oh yeah.
And how were there people who did better than others during the Depression?
Oh yeah.
Were you ever involved in any of the societies or clubs that they had here in the schools, like the civic improvement and
No,
that type of thing? No?
no.
Was a woman's work harder to do at that time than it is now?
The what?
Woman's work, the work in the house,
Oh yeah.
it was harder than it is now, is it? Why was that? Why is that? Why is it harder? Why was it harder then than now?
Well, I don't know. You didn't have the equipment that you have today.
All right, I think that's it, unless you have something else you want to say.
Hmm?
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Oh,
Do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
no, there's nothing else.
Okay, thank you very much.